judges, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor for us to stand here to make this presentation, and we are from South China University of Technology. First, please let me introduce my teammates for you. I'm Jenny, and this Carl, this is Ellen, and this is Ada, and our presentation is about Microsoft. So before our presentation, I'd love to share some of my experience with you. Actually, my boyfriend is really a big fan of Nokia. Though Nokia is a former giant, but not anymore actually. But he still loves Nokia very much. And even we all say that Nokia is out of date now. We say Nokia is so ugly, it's like a stone. But he still insists that he wants to buy a Nokia and enjoy the Windows Phone on the Nokia phones. So he just bought Nokia 920 this model, but really actually not for a long time. He regrets and really feels sad about that. Why? Because there are three problems. First, actually in the Windows Phone, this system provided by Microsoft, there are only very few apps. It's really far behind the Android and iOS. Actually, after about 1 year, I use WeChat in my Apple phones. Use Android in WeChat. The Windows phone still do not provide WeChat this app, and this really bothers him, and we cannot chat in that. And second is it's really easy to go power off. Maybe it's because of some device problems, but also for some software problems. And third is about the bad service. Sometimes there are some problem with the phones and also for some softwares. And actually, the Windows Phone is a closed system, and all the problems have to be solved by the Nokia and also by the Microsoft. But anyway, no matter in Nokia or Microsoft, it can find any solutions and every time you just call the company, but no answer. So about only less than 1 year, and he bought it in 4,600 yuan, but only not over 1 year. It become 1,500 yuan in this model, and he feel really very sad, and he swear he will never buy Nokia and will never use any phones in this system, the Windows Phone. So here comes our presentation. We will solve the problem. Why these conditions will happen, and what's wrong with the Microsoft, and also maybe we will just mention some problems about Nokia. First I want to make some introductions about the Microsoft and especially some products of it. Actually, we all know that Microsoft has really great some flagship products which he is really proud of. About a Windows operating system and the Office application. These are really good products, and he just rely on it for really for a long time. And in recent years, he just introduced some new products. Some products are successful, like Xbox or other cloud, they make profit. But more products things fail anyway, just like his TWS, his mobile operating system, and devices, and also his some search and online advisory. And also we should notice that these products are what really the latest, and we use most common in these years, and it's the most, and maybe it just represent the trend anyway. But Microsoft do not behave quite well in this area. Next, please. So we think actually Microsoft stay in the comfort zone for quite a long time, and we can now see a stock trend in this, and we can see there for really a long time there's not any surprise or good behavior in this stock price area. So in that way, we think we want to identify three gaps in the Microsoft, and these three gaps we should solve them and make a break to resolve the problem. And now I want to identify these three gaps. These three gaps are: first is the bureaucracy and the quick response. We know there are some really office politics and some really not ridiculous, ridiculous sound like the stack ranking approach in Microsoft, and it makes Microsoft really response really in a quick, not cannot respond in a quick speed, and we see that this should be stopped. And second is about lack of collaboration and true collaboration and cooperation. Even within the Microsoft, the Office and the team cannot collect well between each other maybe because of the structure and also for some other reasons they cannot work well. Besides, they cannot cooperate well with their vendors and even some providers, some apps providers, they cannot provide or cooperate well with Microsoft because Microsoft is always think, oh, I'm the king and I don't want to talk with you, and this really awful and prevent collaboration. And third gap is about unfriendly to user-friendly. We all know that customers are really important nowadays, but actually Microsoft is not that user-friendly. They always provide some ridiculous products which cannot come into customers' taste, and we are not satisfied with. And besides, they do not have any really good bridge or connections between them, and we cannot tell them what we really want. So we think these are also the gap we should focus. And the three gaps, what can we do for deal with them? We think the one bridge is very important, and that is one family strategy. And we think only in this strategy, and the Microsoft can solve these three gaps, and they can, in the end, they can achieve innovation. So now I will introduce our agenda for you. Now I have made a really brief introduction, and then our teammates will just give you some gaps and our recommendation. And the last person will also make some conclusion. Now, welcome, Alan.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and what is the problem with Microsoft? And here goes. And we identified that the politics and silos of Office and Microsoft may be a very problem that could hinder the creativity in this problem. And that might be problem we can define it as the institutional bureaucracy. So now the problem here is how we can identify the problem bureaucracy to the quick response. Okay, so firstly, this is the demographics problem. In Microsoft, this company, there are two groups divided differently. So the first part is the old folks. The second part is the newcomers. And how do they define? The old folks is just it's come to the company before the internet bubble burst, and the newcomers come to the corporation after the internet bubble burst, and they have different award or career development pattern. For example, the old folks, they can hold shares, they can hold options, futures of this company, so they have their longer chances to develop. But as for the newcomers, they are totally different. They are coming to the corporation after the internet bubble burst, and they are reaching this company just for the awards, for the money, and they are just seldom given the chances to just reach to the high rank. And the second problem identified here is about the stack ranking problem. This is one approach used in this company as the human resource approach. However, this is also a problem here. Why? I will show you. Here we see that using this approach, these managers in different departments or divisions, they will set different targets for the different people in their department or division. For the slow learners, for the quick learners, for the people who have good ability, and they can identify and they can evaluate before they work. So they just have a predetermined target and award distribution according to their identification by these managers. So that is also the problem here. So what will the outcome or the bad negative consequences brought by this problem, okay, we see that if you lead to the lack of proactivity of this company, maybe someone is equipped with high quality, but they are not identified by the department managers, so they just working silently in the department, so they will feel that, oh, okay, someone is not clever or smarter than them, they will have more chances to access to the better working chances, so that might leading to the lack of the activity. And so this is the big cause leading to the snail response to for the Microsoft to catch the opportunities like the smartphone market and internet research, and so we can see that there is a research, a study by a certain organization, I don't remember exactly, and it's in the 1997, the Microsoft was thought to be the 8th better working company, the company to work for. But in 1913, the study showed that its prediction has fallen to the 78th. So now the problem you can see identified on this. So now we show you the strategies, or is this recommendation or the solution here. We can show these two kind of problem. As for the demographic issue, and we believe that maybe the growth and career development may be used to the according to their not because of when they come to this company, just according to their ability, their personality, that kind of things. And so they should be treated in the similar pattern of the award for career development. That might be the solution one. And the solution two for the stack ranking system issue. So that I showed in the former slide. So we think that you shouldn't evaluate the staff or the workers before you have a real insight or understanding of the ability or the personality of what the guy is. So the solution here is the ability comes first, and then you according to the ability and according to the work performance of this guy or this man, and then you make the evaluation of this guy. So come to a conclusion of these two solutions. We know that the Microsoft is a PC operating system giant. As for this company, it is more likely to be a technology-oriented company. So in this company, we think that it should be focused less on the in terms of the human resource. Should be less on the institutional bureaucracy, but more on the human resource themselves to identify what the people they need and what they can do to the people, and which people are suitable to this company, and what kind of personalities, abilities they want, instead of setting a lot of these institutional systems to be in charge of these guys. So this is my first.
So in the following, let me address on how Microsoft is lack of collaboration and cooperation at this point, and how they can become a better company in this aspect. So I to address on the lack of collaboration and cooperation issue, I split the issue to two aspects. The first, on the external side, there are three factors. The first one is the company's performance appraisal approach is achievement oriented, and right now, Microsoft is still applying this approach, which leads to the fact that the achiever is reluctant to cooperate with the underperformers, and but also in this case, it is mentioned that the Microsoft stated they will introduce a new performance appraisal approach in the future that emphasis on teamwork and collaboration. The second factor is the acquisition. Many refers to the one on Nokia. As the Nokia, the Nokia employees from Nokia are are worrying about their future, are worrying about losing their jobs, which hurts their morale, hinder their willingness to cooperate, and ultimately deter the innovation. This become a crucial issue for the company. And the third factor is that there are old folks, as my teammates mentioned before, there are old folks and the newcomers in the company. The old folks also already got lots of benefits from the stocks and options, while the newcomers have stronger incentives to get promoted, to get more compensation. So the company right now is providing more cash compensation, emphasized with more cash package, so that they could be more comfortable to collaborate with each other. And on the external side, as for the app developers, they have bad impressions on Microsoft. They believe that Microsoft is hard to cooperate while they are developing the ecosystem for Android, for Windows Phone, and also for iOS. And also the companies Microsoft began competing with the hardware vendors, which previously they are purely cooperators. And the thirdly, the Microsoft is lack of experience cooperating with telecom and mobile operator, which could either make or break their success. Our solution for this issue is that firstly, we need to introduce some policies for the company to ask the employees originally from the two companies, Microsoft and Nokia, to respect each other, because especially their organizational culture, because their original organizational culture is their sources of pride. So if you look down upon their organizational culture, they will feel like it's not a one company. And secondly, I would like to introduce cross-cultural buddy project for the company, in which the employees originally from different companies like Microsoft and Nokia respectively would do activities together, show their buddy how their organization culture was previously, and then we'll ask the employees to write a report at the end of the year after the cross-cultural buddy, as for the cross-cultural buddy project, so that we can achieve our one family strategy. Secondly, we would like to introduce training based on research by mystery visitors and the survey, so that we will design some scenarios to let the employees practice, to let them know how to cooperate with the operators, the vendors, and the app developers. Thirdly, we would like to pay some effort to public relationship, to promote brand image to promote our brand image, and let them know our product, especially our operational system, is reliable and it could guarantee information safety, and also it is very efficient. Fourthly, we would like to work out a process in which the different division is responsible for part of the whole process in order to cooperate with the app developers, so the app developers could feel more easy to cooperate with us. Lastly, we would like to waive the licensing fee in order to increasing our market share, to attract the app developers and gain more information about our product, so to achieve our goals.
So let's come to our user-friendly part. We think why Microsoft can't sell well its products, such as its smartphones and its platforms now currently, because it can't provide the customer's needs. And how can it find the customer's needs? We come you know that Microsoft doesn't have flagship shops, and
I'm
so
sorry, I have to stop you here. Thank you, students from the South China University of Technology. There's now 15 minutes of time for Q&A between the judges and the students.
Thank you for a very comprehensive analysis of the case study. It seems, however, that all your focused attention and solution has been on the HR or human resource kind of a problem and solution. And hence you referred to the org and the culture of the company and the people and the reward recognition, etc. However, the same company has gone through 11 reorganizations during the tenure of Steve Ballmer, and the previous 10 has failed. Why would you believe that the 11th reorganization and the people and the human resource or people behavior changing solutions will succeed the 11th time?
Okay, thank you for your question. Well, actually, we don't focus on some human resource solutions because we mentioned that about the bureaucracy, or some second part is about collaboration, and we think human is the key word of that. And we do not want to change the structure, but we want to change the people's mind. So, and actually our key issue is about the culture. We want to change the culture into the one family. And we think if you want to change into one family, each member of that should remember that, and they should always keep in mind that we should focus on devices and services. And actually, there are also some parts of beside the human resource that we haven't mentioned that. Maybe I will partners will introduce you some more about that. Yeah, and we come up with ideas to transfer the product from the users unfriendly to user friendly, and which is come from two ways: it's flagship shops and forum. Maybe forum is not a common way in European countries, but in China it's a very common way. Do you know Meizu? Its CEO, Mr. Huang. He opens a forum for his company, which sells smartphones, and he has a lot of fans in that forum, and all of millions of fans connect in this forum and give advices to its CEO, and it can directly connect with its CEO and its employee in this company. And this company, although it's a beginner, it's a very small company, but it grows very quickly, and it has a very, very good users-friendly characteristics. And why we focus on the users friendly, because we think that currently the Microsoft can provide the needs for the customers. Like my teammate had mentioned before, her boyfriend dislike this its smartphone because it can provide his need. So we focus on the user friendly and the product, and we tend to create an innovative and new user friendly product for our customers. Yes.
Thank you.
Can I have a question? Yeah. So in your presentation, I think you mentioned a lot of, hopefully you can get some cultural change, and obviously, as you say, hopefully, and also that in the case, innovation and the culture of being innovative is actually the key. But looking at Microsoft and looking at Nokia, as you say, Nokia actually, the recent product actually is not very welcome already by most of the consumers. So from a life cycle perspective, both Microsoft of the Windows suites of products as well as Nokia, they are all also going almost like at the decline stage. So how do you see, and you also mentioned family, so how do you see this marriage of two kind of like at the decline stage company together? How they can actually cultivate the culture or the innovative culture. And what's your recommendation? I mean, would that how to avoid the blindly blind situation?
So thanks for your question. So for Microsoft and Nokia, as they are both declining at this point, the present CEO of Microsoft already addressed on the issue that we could not just solely believe on our product like operational systems, which is as the PC market is shrinking, and we need to really strive to come up with some new products. So I think it's critical to raise the awareness of the employee that at this point we are not the dominant player in this market. So as we are both climbing, we need to really like tie together and work together to come up with some some fresh products. So show the consumer a new brand, some new products that could refresh their lives.
Okay, let's talk about some of the things that you mentioned to us, because I hear a lot of what you will do, but in a way I don't really hear how. For example, when you talked about awards and career development, you talk about, oh, we need to evaluate. But how are you going to do it? You know, how are you going to do it fairly? How are you going to make sure that you'll be able to get all the comments? And also you mentioned about in collaboration, oh, we should have a process. There are so many departments. You need to do a lot of cross-functional process. To make a change, cross-functional is very, very hard. I wanted to know where you're going to start, who should be sponsoring these. So can you elaborate a bit more on the how you guys are going to do that? Because a lot of the what, we can actually see them in the textbook.
So take the status quo question and take the app, the collaboration with app developer. For example, we require the so there are 4 divisions there: applications, devices, operating system, and we like when the app developer come to our company, our operating system staff would make a reception and then let them know how to integrate their software to their app to in our ecosystem, and then later as they will ultimately need to test their app on the device. So we will demand the operating system division to show the app developer to the next division, like the in this case it's the devices. So to test their apps on the real device and to see how to modify their apps or even our device.
How about my other question about career
And
development?
one of the questions is about the career development, and I think that caused something like a talent limitation. And I would like to give you some details about the career development. And in our discussion, we think that for this company, it's a technology-oriented company, and what is tasked to make the most function of the people, of the genius. So we think that the career development is very important. So it's basically a requirement, and then so they should and most of them are maybe they will not desire to manage a company, but they will desire to be a director of the engineering. So here I mentioned about the career development. So first thing, they will be given the chances of the job rotation, maybe from one position to another position, or just in this way, or this way, or this way. So many chances they can be given too. So just some details for the talk about. And so also they become given some chances. In Microsoft now, the office politics, we say silos or the politics in these companies do bad according to a survey to the employees. They say that only you have good relationship to your department manager, you can you can develop very quickly, so they feel too bad. So how do you the problem? Drop this focus. Just remove the focus on the institutional bureaucracy. Just focus on everybody's genius, ability. Good guys, guys with enough abilities. You can be you can be joined from the basic stuff, and you can be the the engineer mentor.
Question. So, what do you see from Nokia that Microsoft will acquire Nokia? What's the biggest value of acquiring Nokia for helping Microsoft to transform?
Okay, thanks for your question. In my opinion, because we haven't decided before, the first of all is about the hardware, and maybe we can really bring some really important resources that actually Microsoft did not provide some hardwares before that, and maybe he should improve the quality, and he will change just only a system provider into some of hardware providers. And the second is about the brand image. Like my boyfriend, he is really a big fan of that, though he hate that animal brand. He and all his family, he has five sisters and brothers, and all his family, they are all big fans of Nokia. Nokia is just like represent their childhood, and actually represent all of us sometime. It is really important. And maybe some people like that, they are really missing that, and also they always think Nokia like a stone. Even you drop it to the floor, really 12 floor, it can still will be really fine. And I think this brand image will help Microsoft maybe to get more sales, and maybe he will, and maybe others will think, oh, if Nokia go into Microsoft, his phones will be really solid and the quality is really good. And this is my opinion.
And also, Microsoft and Nokia could complement each other as they are, and to maximize the popularity of the Microsoft's ecosystem. So the people do not just need a PC, or tablets. They need a whole bunch of product. They need a full range of product. So Nokia, as Microsoft is doing better in PC market, while Nokia is providing mobile phone, and they could complement each other and provide really a full solution, a complete solution for the customer who need a system with coming with the same ecosystem.
Yeah, perhaps, I would add some points. Maybe my point is to hear about the diversification, about the market or the scope of the products, and if the partnership or the cooperation between the Nokia and the Microsoft is possible, and it's well done. If I assume that, so firstly, we say that the Microsoft they already have the PC operating system like the Windows for three kinds, and the Nokia is good for its brand image, like good quality and something like that. And maybe they can firstly they have their one product line to serve the software like the PC operating system, and then they can have on another product line like the cell phone devices. So as in this question, they may consider whether they should choose the Windows phone into the cell phone, or whether they can choose the Android to the cell phone. I actually here I cannot give a very detailed conclusion, because maybe we have a very clear research to the customer, and maybe you have to make a very detailed and concrete strategy, so then you can decide whether you are going to take to root the Windows or the Android in the cell phone. So there might be cell phone device and the computer operating system. They could be they could be cooperative and combined together, because we think that a company when it's developing into a very mature stage, and its obligation can be the to enlarge the scope of economy. So this is what the what the Microsoft should be supposed to do.
All right, this concludes the Q&A session of the first presentation. Please join me in thanking the students of the South China University of Technology.